I want to thank you guys for joining us for the first of a major interview series that we're going to be doing with the Feather this year. My name is Nathan Ford, Order of the Feather, Plainsman Club 1999. I'm here joined by one of my favorite feathermen in the entire world. I'll let him introduce himself, though. So tell the people what your name is.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brother Christopher Raye-Millar, BKA Leonardo, and I made the organization in 2011.
And you mind if I ask what year were you, what chapter were you initiated to?
The chapter that I was initiated to was the Brooklyn chapter, also known as the County of Kings, also known as the Zoo.
Of which I'm also a part of. So, you know, Brooklyn chapter is near and dear to both of our hearts, but this is a really interesting and strategic year in that there is no more chapters. We are merged as one organization.
For sure.
3 lodges, 1 vision, 1 focus. So
practicing the word.
Right.
Togetherness.
What's the word, right?
Togetherness.
All right, so I think everybody always asks the same question when you're pledging, why do you want to pledge the feather? But I'm curious as to why did you pledge the feather?
That's a good question, and well, I'll kind of keep it simple. I was raised in a household of 6 women. My mom, aunt, 3 cousins, and my grandmother, rest her soul. But my mom and those ladies did a great job raising me.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that they couldn't do, or what my mother couldn't do, was teach me how to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's structure, guidance, just what it is to be an African-American man in today's society. And my mother blessed me with the ability to find this organization and bring it to light, and exactly what I just said I was looking for, or what she felt like she couldn't give me.
Mm-hmm.
She made sure that I was able to receive it from this organization, and I will forever be blessed for that.
Miss Cheryl is a special woman.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
She definitely has no problem holding the brotherhood to task.
Yes, she
And,
does.
we appreciate her and all the great moms, the feather moms out there, because we wouldn't be
Shout
where
outs
we
to
are.
you, Ma.
We wouldn't be where we are without all the great feather moms. So from Miss Cheryl to Glacia Drew, thank you. Let me find out a little bit more about your feather resume. So what positions have you held in the feather, and what position do you hold right now?
Well, in my initiation process to the organization, I was the leader of my line, so I was president of my line as a Plainsman. On the other side of the organization, being a member and a brother of the Order of the Feather Fraternity, I've held positions from business manager, secretary, to up to vice chairman of the senior council of the organization, of the entire organization. My current position this year for the 2024 fiscal year is the current senior dean of the Order of the Feather Fraternity.
Yeah, like how you said, senior dean of the Order of the Feather Fraternity, not senior dean of the Brooklyn chapter, not senior dean of the Harlem chapter, not senior dean of the Queens chapter.
Kind of going back to what we said earlier when the interview started, we're practicing the word togetherness this year, and I feel like it is something that is definitely super important to us as an organization, because we need the camaraderie.
Definitely. So can you tell me a little bit about what brothers, some of the brothers, I know there's many of them, but what are some of the brothers that have been influential to you in your involvement in the feather, in your feather experience?
Oh man, the list can go on for days and days, but I guess I would have to start out with my dean, my senior. It's a little bit funny because she's the guy that's interviewing me right now. But yes, Nathan Anthony Ford, you have been exactly what a brother should be in this organization to me from the time that I've joined this organization up until this point, and that is a mentor. I feel like the biggest thing that brothers may forget about joining into this organization, because it is so much work that we do for the community, for ourselves, and just for the young men in our program, the most important job that I feel like we serve to the community, the young men that we serve, or just each other, is just continuously being mentors, continuously being the guiding light for somebody who may not know exactly what they want to do or how they may want to do it. So for sure, I thank you for being that guiding light for me and continuing to be that light. So if I had to say a name, I would definitely say Nathan Anthony Ford, BKA the Preacher.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm humble, and if there's one thing I learned is that the feather is what everything you put into it, you'll get out of it. And it wasn't until I started deaning in 2009 to 2011 that I truly started to get more out the feather. So I wouldn't be where I am without my boys, and they're the reason that I'm here.
Appreciate you, bro.
So it goes both ways. So tell me who your big brother was, and tell me a little bit about him.
My big brother is technically the reason why I'm even in this organization today. His name is Big Brother Alex Robin, and he's been my big brother and continues to be my big brother to this day. We had so much in common when I first met Alex, and at the time when I met Alex, I was definitely following the wrong crowd, being influenced by the wrong people. When this organization was brought to me, it was kind of brought to me by my mom as something that, I had to do because I wasn't doing the right things.
Right.
So in a sense, it felt like punishment. So coming to the first interest meeting, being a little timid, not wanting to open up, just in a room full of you guys, just asking me questions. My big brother was the first person that made me feel comfortable enough to open up, tell you guys my real issues, what I need help with, and things of that nature. And it was simple coincidences, us having things in common. I went to Bishop Ford Central Catholic High School. He went to Bishop Ford Central Catholic High School.
Right.
I lived in Flatbush and grew up in Flatbush my whole entire life. He also grew up in Flatbush his entire life. So just those little things made me kind of relate to him and open up to him in a different way. And one thing that I always thank my big brother for is the constant communication that he had with my mother, to make sure that even when I wasn't on the right track, or I was probably telling him that I was doing great or amazing in school, he was making that phone call to my mom to say, well, what's really going on? Right. And that kind of kept me on track when I felt like I was slipping in sometimes or losing focus. So my big brother was definitely somebody who kept me on point, kept me on track, and is one of the reasons why I am who I am today in this organization.
Well, you told an age-old story about Gwinky's not listening.
True, right.
We still deal with till this day.
We still deal with till this day.
You gotta ask Gwinky to do things over and over and over, and not do things over and over and over. But eventually they become Wakachanzas and they start listening, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And eventually they become Bonnemen and they start giving advice. I count myself very lucky to have grown up with a lot of feathermen in my life before we even became feathermen, right? So your big brother Alex been one of my best friends since we were altar service, 6, 7 years old. I pledged with 2 people that I was baptized with. I had known Paul since we was playing ball in the corner of Nostrand and Bergen. I mean, we go way back, in this chapter that we all joined originally was so powerful, and it reminded me so much of Old Ministry. Chapter in the Brooklyn chapter reminded me of Old Ministry, and that there were so many relationships that started long before you got to
the organization.
Right, and I thank you for, after becoming a member of this organization, going and bringing your friends and bringing your brothers and bringing your mans, because it creates a different level of respect and love that is palpable. People can see it, they can feel it, so appreciate that, man. Who else are some of your other favorite feathermen?
Like I said before, the list can go on for days, but one thing that I always appreciate from being in this organization is the wisdom that we have. We have brothers that made this organization in the 40s that's still around, 50s, 60s are still around. Just to name a couple names, we have Courtney Bennett, Keith David Rivers, Mr. Slap That, get it started.
Right, that Brooklyn guy.
Wiley Gator, Darrell A. Mayers, we have Rich McIntyre. These are all brothers that in some way, shape, or form throughout my feather life have given me some type of wisdom, guidance, just a way for me to extend my feather knowledge and just my knowledge as just an African American man in today's society.
Right.
So even simple things as my third year being in this organization and not knowing exactly what I wanted to do throughout the summer, it was simple as calling a brother like Courtney A. Bennett to receive a job, or just to be in the right places where he's pointing me to the right directions, like I said before. So there's a lot of other bros out there that I can name: Lee Winley, Rodney Reed, Daniel Norton, Davy J. There's a lot of brothers from different chapters, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, but these are all brothers that I look up to, I admire, and the work that they have done and continue to do in this organization is important, and they are and will forever be important to me and who I am in this organization. So I thank those brothers for what they continue to do in this organization.
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it's funny because long before you were a leader in this organization, a lot of leaders in the organization used to always say, I see Lav's working, man. I see that guy working. And long before you built some of those relationships, there were brothers that were seeing your potential.
Right.
And a lot of names that you just named are some of those guys. So,
Right.
you know, that's one of the powerful things about the Feather Brothers, being able to see something in yourself that you can't even see.
Before I even see it, how.
So, to that point, what is your plan as a leader in the organization?
I feel like my plan is as simple as it can get. We have a mission. The young men of the nation are the bulwark of the future. We believe that the development of strong character and good moral judgment is essential to the type of bulwark this nation needs to march ever forward. That will be my mission in many ways, whether that is the work that I do in the community with young men that are not a part of our organization, just to prep them for the society that they will face out there, or whether it is me working alongside with Gowinkies in the program to get a little bit more knowledge of the organization, understand what positions that they want to hold, and how they can contribute in their own special way to the mission. And I believe that with my leadership and just my target focus being that, and in the current position that I hold,
Right.
I will be able to achieve that goal.
It's power. What do the 5 trails mean to you?
They're a guidepost, like almost like the 10 Commandments in a sort of how I should conduct myself as a featherman, as a man. Honor, everybody should have that. Honesty, you should always be honest, no matter what relationship you're in, even if it's a stranger. Honesty is kind of like one of the most important things that you should be able to stand on. Courage. You're going to face trials and tribulations in life, throughout life, things that may be difficult, but you got to have the courage to fight through those things. This organization taught me that in many different ways.
Right.
So, thrift and purity, those also go hand in hand with just how I would like to conduct myself in life. My morals, my beliefs, everything should be pure. I should be having a clear mind state. Mind, body, and soul should be healthy. So all of those things are literally just, I use them, I would say, as guidelines and how I should act in life.
So what's your favorite feather poem?
Don't quit.
Why is that?
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the depths are high, when you want to smile, you have to sigh, and cares are weighing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. That like serves so many purposes and holds meanings in many different walks of life, whether you're starting a goal or trying to finish something or even starting a project, you're struggling at work or at home in your relationships and things of that nature. Even with people, don't give up, don't quit. Things get hard, they do get difficult, but always have that courage, that desire, that will to just fight and get through whatever those tough times may be. And this organization, one thing that I thank them for is being able to have that support, that network, that village, as people would say, to help you get through those tough times. So don't quit is, that's my favorite poem.
What is your favorite feather step? Because I've heard on the streets that you stepped a little bit at times in your life.
Don't let this man gas you guys up. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I'm a little rusty out here though, but
why is it your favorite feather step?
Man, if I had to choose one, I would say I don't know why these girls keep calling me. It must be the way I. And that's honestly my favorite step because of the response that we get from the African American Day Parade. When we're walking down the block and just the crowd from the different sides, and especially us being in Harlem for so long and just being an organization that the community knows itself, to even hear them chant the step with us sometimes, it's amazing. And when we have the numbers that we have during the African American Day Parade, that feeling of just stepping and saying those words, it kind of just brings a type of nostalgia feeling that will always be there. So that will be my favorite step. And you know we love the girls.
You know it. But I will say that's a calm plug for the African American Day Parade. Y'all make sure y'all come out.
Yes,
brothers,
sir.
Make sure you
Yes,
participate.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You know how old I am? I'm gonna tell you how old I am. When I learned that step, I was pledging. And the words was, I don't know why these girls keep paging me. That's how old I am.
How old are you?
I'm old enough.
Damn.
Let me get back to the question. But I guess if I did my math correctly, I've been in this organization 25 years this year.
How? It makes 13 for me, so.
Hey, time flies.
It's flying.
Time
It's flying.
flies.
It's flying.
Curious to, what was it like being president of your line? And do you have any advice for presidents of the line?
That's a good question. Being president of my line was somewhat difficult for me. I was young, in a lot of ways immature.
Right.
A lot of ways didn't see myself as a leader. So being in that position where I kind of had to be the opposite of all those things that I just named, it was a little bit difficult for me. On top of me being the oldest person online and dealing with, I was 17 years old, in charge of my line brothers who were 13, 14 years old. So even just the difference in maturity between us was a gap that I had to find a way to combat or just shorten in a sense. But with the tools that you gave me as my dean and the confidence that you gave me and instilled in me, and just me being the leader and taking that confidence and knowing that I have those traits, I was able to successfully do that job. And one thing that I would give as advice for future leaders in this organization, future presidents of the line, be confident in yourself. Have the confidence to know that you are a leader, even if you didn't have that confidence in yourself. We all have the ability to doubt ourselves in certain ways, and sometimes we just need that support. And being a president in this organization is not something that you choose for yourself. People see that in you and they decide that kind of for you. It is your job to now take that responsibility and run with it. And again, I'll just reiterate, just have that confidence in yourself to know that you can do the job and that confidence and that mind state will take you a long way. And that's just my 11 cents.
I'll be honest with you. It's amazing to me that how many leaders in the Feather had spent their lives not being leaders until they became president of their line.
Right.
I can tell you the same thing happened to me. I was vice president of my line until my dean one day said,
"You're that guy."
"You're president." And my president was my best friend. We've been best friends since we were born. It was a very difficult time. It was created a lot of tension between us. But my dean, Courtney Bennett, and my dean, Victor Fleming, said, you know, that kid that's standing next to you with the glasses, who's kind of playing it quiet, I think he might be a better leader. And I didn't believe it, but they did. And to be honest with you, that was the first time anybody looked at me as a leader. And I've been on a different trajectory ever since.
Then.
And I see the same thing in you. Let me ask you another question about your big brothers. Like, just tell me generally about your big brothers.
Characters. Comedians of the sort. But literally in their own way, respectable, successful black men. And I feel like in today's society, the younger generation, they struggle having those type of role models in a sense.
Right.
So I'm kind of blessed that all of my big brothers, the Paul Hawkers, the Alex Robbins, the Joshon Sims, the Nathan Anthony Fords, all of those guys have taught me what it is to be successful and still be funny, charismatic, joking at sometimes. But literally, if I had to take anything away from all of those guys, is the importance of handling business, making sure that you take care of business before you have pleasure, in a sense. So that is one thing that they all have instilled in me, and I repeat again that all of those guys are successful in their own right, and they will always serve as examples to me and hopefully any other young brother that is a part of this organization. So I would like to thank those guys for being who they are, and hopefully they will be around in the near future for any Gowinkies, any Wakachanzas who haven't got the opportunity to interact with those great men, to get to know them, find out what they're about, and get that wisdom that they have to lend out to you guys. So.
Man, those guys sound like some cool guys. Someday, hopefully, I get a chance to meet a couple of them. Especially that Dean guy. He sounds like the bear. I mean, he sounds pretty cold. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's all right,
All right, man. But on the other side of that, tell me about your little brothers.
Ah, man. I got so much in this sense, but it's a blessing. All of my little brothers are, in their own way, unique to this organization. What they can possibly bring, just who they are in general, and the energy that they give the organization in many different ways. I'm proud of them. We have different brothers who are holding positions on the highest level, to my younger brothers who are just working within their respective lodge, or just trying to start to hold positions and realize what it is that they want to do within this organization. And I'm blessed that they always look back to me for guidance, just a helping hand in a sense. And I will always be there to be that for them, be their guiding light, make sure that anything that they need within the organization, they can simply just come and ask, and I'll be there as best as I can. But shout out to all you guys out there, and keep doing y'all thing. The Gowinkies, the Wax, know the vibes. Man.
All right, man. Well, who is Leonardo? Who is Leonardo? Tell me about that guy.
The last Ronin. Nah, let me stop. I'm sorry. Shout out to all my LBs out there. Right. But Leonardo, as I was speaking about earlier, I was the president of my line while I was joining the organization. So my dean, just with his great mind and thinking, it was 5 of us online. We were teenagers at the time, wild, trying to find out what it is to be a young man or an adult. So he named us TMNT, after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if for anybody who has watched that show before, you know Leonardo is technically the leader of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I received that name by being the president of my line. So that is who Leonardo is. Leonardo is also Laos. Leonardo is also Big Brother Christopher Raye-Millar from the Brooklyn chapter, 2011, the greatest line, if I should say so myself.
You know, it's interesting. I don't know if I ever told you, but part of the reason that that name made it for me, I knew it was going to be my last line. And I wanted the impact that I had on the line and on the organization to be clear, right? And I wanted people to understand who the boys were just by their line name. I didn't want anybody to have to explain. So it was very interesting when brothers knew your name was Leonardo. They already knew you were the leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When Jadari said his line name was Raphael, they knew he was emotional. And they knew the type of things that he
My
was
vice president, Donatello.
Right,
Yeah.
very smart brother, right?
Yeah.
And Michelangelo.
Shout out to Devon.
And Michelangelo, right? Like just,
Sure.
what advice would you have for any young man that's interested in joining the Order of the Feather Fraternity?
Be open-minded. Be open to try new things. Be open to new ideas, new experiences, and just new knowledge in general. This organization is what we would like to call one of the hidden gems within our city of New York. So a lot of people may not know about us. Young people may not think that this is something that would benefit them. But I can speak from experience and let you guys know for sure that there are things that I have done in my life that I would have never thought about doing without this organization. Just giving me the guidance, the knowledge that I needed, or even just the push in some aspects to just go get what I needed to get by myself. To you guys out there, like I said before, just be open-minded, and you never know, not even just for this organization in general, but anything that you may feel like you can't possibly do, or it's far out of reach or out of sight, out of mind, like some people would say, don't think like that. Everything is possible, especially in today's day and age, if you put the effort, if you put your mind to it. We are here as an organization to provide that network, whether you are a part of our organization or not. So we are on social media platforms, Facebook, in the community in general. Please reach out to us, and we will show you guys that this is something that you may want to be a part of.
I guess to touch a little bit closer to home, what advice do you have for the 2024 Plainsman Club?
One thing my dean always told me, continue to be great.
Sir.
Simple as that. All right. Continue to be great. Continue to strive for greatness. Continue to be the young men that you guys are turning into. I got faith that you guys will finish this 2024 process, and I have even more faith that you guys will be better brothers in this organization. So don't let me down.
It reminds me of something I used to tell y'all when y'all were online, that you know, I know that y'all how great y'all are. You know how great you are. Go show the rest of the world. Right? I used to give y'all these pep talks before we go to the townhouse, and we would be standing around the corner, and I'd be getting so hyped. So 3 train, yo, come on, man! It's time to show these people they don't respect y'all. It's time to make them respect y'all.
You're right.
The energy was palpable when you would come in those spaces. Everybody was forced to look at you and acknowledge that these young men are great.
That's true.
So if your dean is saying anything, he's right. Just show them you're great, not just in the feather, but in the classroom, at home, in your community. It's important that you understand the greatness and the lineage you come from. Nas said, heart of a king and blood of a slave, right? That's what we are, man. We are people that is so much more powerful than we often give ourselves credit for.
Powerful.
So if anybody's going to have that confidence, it's going to be us, and it's going to start right here in the feather, man. I promise that. So the last question I have for you. This is the last question. Tell me more about Miss Cheryl.
You try to make me cry on here. Stop. But man, my mom is amazing. Think of Wonder Woman, Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman. That is my mom. She has been my superhero from the time I could open my eyes to this day. She is a single mom who tried her best to provide anything that I may have needed. Even if she felt like she couldn't have, she made it happen to this day. So for her resilience, for her just never giving up on me, always having the 100% confidence in her son to be great. My mom always tells me you have the ability to be great. You just have to go and do it, in a sense. So I thank her for being who she is, continuing to be that person to always push me to be better. Never settle is something that my mom would always preach to me. So I kind of still have that in my head to this day. Like when I became business manager in the organization, I wanted more. When I was just president of my line, I was even thinking of being a dean in the organization. So that's where I am now, striving to learn that knowledge or getting knowledge from certain brothers that I felt like would make me the better dean that I am today. I got that confidence from my mom. So I got to thank her. Miss Cheryl Millar, you are an amazing lady. I thank you for everything that you have done. And thank you for making me the man that I am today in your best abilities and putting me in a position to be around other great African-American men who I probably might not have met if it wasn't for you, girl.
Michelle, thank you for trusting us with your son, man. We don't know where we'd be as an organization without him.
I appreciate you, bro.
And with that, it's a wrap, man.